I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Wang, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yes! Yeah, baby!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. I'm Jason Bowman with the APA, and we are bringing you continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship from here in Tampa. The noon round just about to kick off here. We've got from San Diego, California, Josh Watson, all the way from the West Coast here to Tampa. His opponent out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Fredrick Babcock. So they will be on the stream table in this race to 7. We'll see up to 5 games of 8-ball, up to 8 games of 9-ball. Of course, this is a double elimination tournament, and I believe this is a undefeated round. I'll have to check the CompuSport app, but I believe that's where we're at. And the winner of the coin toss chooses either the break or the format. Looks like we'll be starting in the 8-ball set. I believe this is Josh here, Josh Watson. If memory serves, I think Josh sent Terry Edwards to the one-loss side of the bracket. Of course, we've seen Terry twice now here on the stream, both times. He was lights out. So Josh must be playing really well, and he'll have the break here. First game of the 8-ball set. Looks like he got the 7 on the break. Again, his opponent, Fred Babcock. Josh pockets that 2 in the top corner there. I don't know a whole lot about either of these players other than what I already told you about Josh, having knocked Terry Edwards to the left side of the bracket. Let's see if I can pull their bios and tell you a little more about them. Fred's name seems familiar. I'm pretty sure he's been here before. Again, this will be a race to 7. We're currently scoreless, just underway. This is the 12 o'clock round here at Strokers. mentioned Did we say Josh was out of San Diego? Is that right? That's interesting because I show on his bio that he's out of Atlanta. Of course, that says his hometown is Atlanta. Maybe he's out of San Diego now. I was surprised to see a California qualifier on there. Of course, so much of California has been closed down since the pandemic, but apparently he did a little traveling, was able to qualify. And he's never been to the U.S. Amateur Championship before, so this is his first time, and he's off to a good start in this stream match. Pockets at 8 in the side, takes a 1-0 lead. Josh has only been playing about 10 years, so his game's come a long way. Says he played a little at home growing up, and then his mom recommended he join an APA league after his first deployment, so I'm guessing Josh is a military man. And if he's in San Diego, maybe a Navy guy. Maybe some of our viewers might be able to tell us a little bit more about Josh. And preparing the rack here is Fred Babcock. I don't know that I have any bio sheet on Fred. His name sure seems familiar to me. They're telling me Josh is a Marine, so there you go. Good guy to know when things get tough, I'm guessing. Got the break here. Got a low one and a high one there in that break. Again, if you're just joining us, picking this match up in your news feed on Facebook, you're watching coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship, the Open Division, which got underway on Friday. We are on day 2, round number 3. And this is a round of undefeated players, so regardless of the outcome of here, both these players will continue on in the tournament. One will do so still undefeated. The other will do it on the one-loss side of the bracket. I was looking at the tournament trail for both these players. Josh started with a victory yesterday over Fred Goglia the third. I'm probably butchering that name. I apologize, Fred. And then, of course, we mentioned the 7-3 win over Terry Edwards, which, again, he must have been on fire because from what I've seen of Terry so far, he's been on his game. Fred beat John Mitchelltree and then Jeremy McKinney to set up this showdown with Josh. Fred patiently waiting his turn at the table. course, you can follow all the action at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship at CompuSport.us. You'll find the tournament bracket there. You can track all the players, or you can search a particular player, and it'll show you all the places they appear on the bracket. Josh pockets at 2 in the bottom corner there. Hope you're having a great Saturday afternoon wherever you are. Probably still Saturday morning for a lot of you folks here in Tampa on the East Coast. Did I see it's the first day of spring today? I believe so. Or later on tonight officially, so happy spring to all you folks tuning in. Pascal, Mark's still in bed, believe it or not. He'll be over here later this afternoon, but once he gets here, we like to keep him busy with the ref work. Finally a chance to see Fred here. Again, this is Fred Babcock. And I don't have a bio sheet on Fred, so if anybody knows anything nice about Fred, other than that he's, what do we say, he's from Indiana? Indianapolis, Indiana? And I believe he's been here before. His name certainly seems familiar to me, so. Second opponent for Josh with the name Fred, which is kind of random, but. Again, Fred knocked off John Mitchelltree in the first round yesterday, 7-4, then beat Jeremy McKinney yesterday afternoon, 7-1 in that match, sends McKinney to the one-loss side. And that's how we find ourselves here. All the other tables here at Strokers currently in play. Got James Adams and Johnny Griffin squaring off on table 9. Derek Sim and Gilbert Combs on table 13. These are, again, all players that are undefeated. Michael Hutchinson and Clint Clark are over on table 14. Scott Rolliter, Daniel Peterson playing over on table 7. Obviously, this is the Babcock-Watson match here on the stream table that you're watching. Joe Keith and Jared Pitts over on table 4. Dan Gamble and Lance Schofield over on table 8. Steve Langiano and Kerry Cass over on table 11. Richard Molinaro and Ernesto Bayawa, they're playing on table 1 right now. And Ryan Hollingsworth and Tyler Adolini, they're squaring off on table, I'm not sure what table they're on. Meanwhile, Fred Babcock trying to even things up in this race to 7. We must have a match running long from the last round. I'm guessing that's why Tyler and Ryan have not started playing yet. Not that I see. Some folks asking about which match we'll be streaming next. Offhand, I do not know. Typically, they hand me some papers and they say go. That's the heads up they give us here, so I'm not exactly sure who we'll have in the next match. We're all tied at 1 here. Fred will have his first break of the match as Josh finishes the rack. Fred makes the 6 in the side pocket there. Everybody wants to see their favorite player on the stream. I wish we could have them all on the streams, but this is the best we have for now. I've seen several of the players streaming their own matches too when they're not on the stream. Of course, that's something we see pretty commonly in Vegas as well. That's probably a good tip for those of you folks hoping to join us in August and or October in Vegas. Do yourself a favor, grab a tripod, bring it with you. That's become really popular out there. Seems like almost every match I see now out there, somebody's live streaming for the folks back home. Early on in this race to 7 here. I have Jeremy Jones joining me here at 1:30 today, the 1:30 round. He'll carry our coverage well into the evening tonight. I'm sure he'll stick around for probably all but maybe that last. I don't know if we have a 10:30 round tonight or not, but of course tomorrow will be a busy day here at Strokers. The final day always is. Still a lot of great pool to be played. That's a good question, Mike. He was asking why the U.S. Amateur Championship's not played in Vegas like the World Championships. Well, there's probably several reasons for that. One, obviously, we've already got two pretty large events in Vegas, so we wanted to offer something a little bit different, but probably the biggest reason is because of the use of the 9-foot tables. Obviously, all the tables we use in Vegas are 7-foot tables. A little more cumbersome to transport and set up 9-foot tables. Take up a little more room, so. And I think we like having an event that is a little separate from Vegas, so just a little different. One day I imagine we may have this event outside of a pool room, maybe a hotel convention space. Kind of like Vegas, but I don't know that it would be in Vegas. Of course, we've had the USAM in Vegas years ago in a pool room there, not at the Westgate or the Riviera where we were prior to moving to the Westgate. That's a good question, though. Hopefully I've given you as in-depth answer as I can provide. Josh Watson here from San Diego trying to regain the lead. Again, if you go to CompuSport.us, you can track the players in this year's event, see how they're doing. Nice shot on the 8-ball there by Josh. Regains the lead, 2-1. Race to 7. This will be the 4th of 5 games of 8-ball that we'll see. Some nice gentlemen bringing me some facts about Fred Babcock. Appreciate that. 3rd year in a row here for Fred. All right, I knew his name looked familiar. Been playing 15 years. He plays out of Brickyard Billiards back in Indiana. And he's sponsored by Sickles Custom Cues. Sickless Custom Cues? I appreciate that. I'm not sure who that gentleman was that brought that back here, but that was nice of him. Give us a little insight on Fred. He's got 3 Indiana state titles in 8-ball and 9-ball. Josh pocketed, I believe, the 9-ball there in the side pocket. Aha, so there's our answer on Josh. Thank you, Luis. He's from Atlanta, but he lives in San Diego now. Kind of what we had suspected. But Josh, as we mentioned, sounds like he's a U.S. Marine. Grateful for his service, as well as all of our servicemen and women out there, some of which might be tuning in today. Pretty amazing the sacrifices those folks make in their personal lives to protect us all. And apparently Josh finds time to practice amidst all that. So he's had himself a very good first run here at the U.S. Amateur Championship thus far. Lynn, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the felt on the tables is Simonis. They put it on a couple weeks ago. I'd have to go back. There's a post that we shared on Facebook when they were putting it on, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so I believe it's Simonis. But if you scroll through our feed, you're likely to find that. You see the Simonis stickers there on the tables. They try to put that new felt on a couple weeks before the tournament, so it gets just a little bit of play on it. They like it new, but they don't like it too new. Like a little broken in, like a baseball mitt. And I know that because I've been breaking in. My kids started playing baseball. I've been breaking in their gloves a little bit. Again, you can see the brackets, CompuSport.us. That is their website. And select the U.S. Amateur Championship. And from there, you can see the bracket overall. You can kind of scroll around, or you can type in a name there and see exactly who the player you're trying to track, where they're at on that bracket. Great resource. The other cool thing is players get a sense of when they would potentially play based on the outcome of their matches, so they can kind of formulate their schedule while here in Tampa, which is a great city. If you've never been here, whew, you need to plan a vacation. Beautiful city. Got all the beaches over here in Pinellas County, the other side of the bay from Tampa. It's no wonder so many folks choose to live down here. And as we've talked about, a lot of great pool players from this area as well. A number of them in this event. Of course, Jeannie Seaver, our champion in the women's division. She closed out that victory over Julia Shearman on Thursday night here at Strokers. Jeannie out of Tarpon Springs. Now, I know she just relocated there from the east side of the state, but we'll consider her a local now. Give a shout out to Jose Del Rio, another great local player who also happens to be the owner here of Strokers in Palm Harbor. Jose was just knocked out of the tournament in that last round. Had a chance to talk to him for a minute. He said, I lost. I said, well, it's got to be tough to pull double duty. He said, no excuses. I like that about Jose. He wasn't making any excuses, so just didn't get it done, but there's always next year. Yeah, jump cues are allowed at the U.S. Amateur Championship. I know that might seem different for folks who play in our leagues, but because you've got the higher caliber players here and no handicaps, jump cues are allowed. Again, Fred here plays out of Indianapolis. Brickyard Billiards, which sounds familiar to me. I'm wondering if we did a photo shoot at Brickyards one year, back when Jeanette was living up there. Jeanette Lee used to live up in Indianapolis before moving down here to the Tampa area. Fred is in his third U.S. Amateur Championship appearance. Fred looking to pull even here. This is the 4th game of the 8-ball set. This is a winner's side match. Both these players still undefeated in this year's event. So the bad news is that will change at the end of this match for one of them. The good news is they will both move on regardless. It's going to be a little bit longer path for one of them. Brian Parks did not make it down here this year. As we mentioned earlier, much of California still remains shut down. Not a lot of pool playing going on there. So my guess is there was no preliminary close enough to him to qualify or to try and qualify. Last I talked to Brian, he was busy with some work too, so might have been the case of everybody trying to get by during this pandemic, and might have been tough for him to find the time to do it. So certainly missed here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. You can see by all the comments, everybody wanting to know if he's here or not. He's obviously a popular player with many folks. I know a lot of these guys enjoy playing him. The challenge of playing a Brian Parks, 5-time champion. Josh Watson closes out that rack by pocketing the 8 in the corner. Takes a 2-game lead. This will be the final rack of the 8-ball set before they move on to 9-ball. Again, if you're just joining us, this is coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship from Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Palm Harbor just across the bay from Tampa. This facility has been the home of the U.S. Amateur Championship for more than a decade. Been a great home for us down here. Very popular with the players and the pool community in this area in general. I know this is a very popular place for lots of different tournaments and leagues. You got great food here, and they've been so accommodating. Been working with them on some of these COVID protocols to try to keep everybody healthy. We got the big tent out back that folks can hang outside in if they choose. It's got the matches live streamed. It's got some basketball going on as well. And food service out there. So we appreciate everything they've done to accommodate this year's U.S. Amateur Championship qualifiers, make their experience a good one, despite some of the COVID protocols. Josh here mentioned his mother as one of his big influences in pool. Said he's been playing a lot of local tournaments lately, but really misses regular league play, getting together with his friends. Wanted to give a shout out to his mothers, Cynthia Chris Nide Watson and Kimberly Kimmy Nide Watson. They play out of Mr. Q's 2 in Atlanta. Mr. Q's 2 has hosted a couple of U.S. Amateur Championships. Josh also wanted to mention all his California friends tuning in to support him, especially you, Luis. And his sponsor, Bernadine Diaz. A lot of folks in Josh's corner. Good. Working through a couple of sound issues at the moment here. This is Fred Babcock back at the table. Looks like we got the sound issue straightened out. Some house music had come on here, and sometimes that creates a little bit of an issue with the folks at Facebook over the copyrights of different songs and that kind of thing. And we had to find a manageable level for that. I can always tell when there's an issue because Kara jets out of the streaming booth and doing a great job here. Good to go. Johnny, unfortunately, I'm not sure the score on table 4. It's rather difficult to see much from our streaming booth, which is not far off the playing area. The issue is we've got some lighting in here that basically makes most of what I see outside of the booth, everything's kind of reflective, so Certainly can't see above the tables for those that are keeping score. But the good news is if you go to CompuSport.us, I know it's not a live update, but you can figure out who's winning and losing here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Again, this is the undefeated round, so all these players have yet to endure their first loss. At the conclusion of this round, half of them will have one, and they'll move to the left side of the bracket, have to work their way back through. We appreciate that, Luis. We appreciate you and all the other folks tuning in. If you guys are liking what you're seeing here at the U.S. Amateur Championship, one way you can help these players is by hitting the share button here on Facebook. You'll be doing your pool playing friends a favor too, giving them a chance to check out all the action here. But it's great for the exposure for these players. You know, a lot of them have local sponsors that have helped get them here one way or another, and part of being a sponsor is you look for recognition and that kind of thing. So hit that share button if you don't mind. Fred Babcock looking to draw a little bit closer in this race to 7 with Josh Watson. This will be the final game of the 8-ball set. If you're interested in competing in the U.S. Amateur Championship next year, you can go to usamateurchampionship.com, or you can go to poolplayers.com and you can select the U.S. Amateur Championship from our tournament information. I believe you can enter that right now. The first preliminary window, which is in September, that's the normal preliminary window for this event. Basically, you enter and you play in a regional event. Yeah, you can pull that up there. I think that's right. There we go. usam.poolplayers.com. Still trying to settle on an exact date for this event next year. Obviously this event was typically held in the fall, usually in November, early November, but with some of the changes, considering keeping it now in the late winter, early spring, I'll be curious what the players think of the timing. Doesn't seem to have changed anything in terms of participation. In fact, we had more players try to qualify for this event than I believe we've ever had. Big part of that was the opportunity to have multiple qualifying windows. And that was a direct result of the pandemic. All right, Fred Babcock pulls within 1 here. He'll have the first break in the 9-ball set. This event will run through Sunday evening, sometime late tomorrow afternoon or early evening. We'll have our final, championship final that is. Timing of that varies a little bit. We do go continuous play on the final day as we get deep into the tournament, and matches become contingent on the match prior. So if you just stay tuned to our Facebook page, make sure you like us here on Facebook if you haven't yet. You'll get a notification each time we go live with a new match. Eric wants to keep the USAM in March. I'm right there with you. I don't mind March one bit. Sounds like if they keep it this time of year, though, it might be closer to February, maybe late February that they do it. Just because of the timing of some of the other events we do and the qualifying for those events around the year. My buddy Matt Bryson asking about Brian Parks. Quite a few people asking about Brian. He is not here this year. Of course, he lives in Bakersfield, California. And if you've been following the news, you know much of California is still shut down. So I don't know if it was a case that he didn't have a preliminary close enough to participate in, or if he's just too busy. Again, last time I talked to Brian, he had to make some adjustments back home due to the pandemic and work and all that stuff that a lot of us have had to make. So, but we wish him well. I know he's tuned in here periodically. I would guess we'll see Brian on here at some point tomorrow, if not sometime today. Still a little early in California, especially for a pool player. Maybe we can get him to weigh in on why he didn't try to qualify this year. Of course, he's already got 5 of these titles, so maybe he's decided that he's going to let the rest of you guys try to catch up. I don't know. Luis said Brian's playing down in a tournament in Vegas this weekend. All right, well, good to know he's playing. I know Brian, he's always playing somewhere. Lockdown or no lockdown. Fred Babcock now trying to even things up. Josh Watson. Here on the main table at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Been a pretty tight match here so far. I would say most of the matches we've had here on the stream last few days have been pretty tight, with the exception of the last one, the 7-0 shutout. Terry Edwards was real good. I talked to his opponent Craig on the way out, and I said, well, there wasn't much you could do because he just wasn't going to let you play a whole lot. So just the way it goes sometimes here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. That's the level of play with some of these guys, is they get on a roll and be several racks before you get to hit a ball. Again, if you're just tuning in, coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship, Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Josh Watson once again takes a 2-game lead in this race to 7 against Fred Babcock. He has the break here. Dry break there, and a nice opportunity now for Fred. Somebody had asked about qualifying for one of our events in Vegas. Of course, APA members eligible to qualify for those events. Do that through your local league operator, your local APA league operator, I should say. Talk to them about what's available for your area and how you might have an opportunity. Unique thing about all of our Vegas championships is you do qualify for them. Unlike some of the other events where you can just kind of sign up and play. With the exception of our Mini Mania, which does run about 20 hours a day. Very popular with our members. Little smaller side tournaments basically is what those are, but you do have to be an APA member, of course, to participate. With an established handicap. No handicaps here at the U.S. Amateur Championship, though. All straight up play here. There you go, our Pool Player Championships, which will be held hopefully in August. If you're interested in that, you can visit poolplayers.com and get all the information. Typically, you play on a qualifier board, and you win the qualifier board, you compete in a regional qualifier, and from there, it's on to the big show in Vegas. Where we are all hoping to be come August. Fred pockets at 5 inside there. Watch out. He's good. Six in the corner. Fred slowly but steadily clearing this table here in a bid to draw within one game again of Josh Watson. Again, this is a matchup of undefeateds. Pockets at 9. And trails by just 1. Again, he will have the break. This is a winner break format. Looking ahead on the bracket here for these guys. The winner of this match will advance to the 4:30 round. And the loser will play, I hate to say loser, the non-winner will play Robert Hall in the next round. So it'll be a tough matchup for whichever player absorbs a loss here. Robert's a former U.S. amateur champion. Another one of those guys you see here year after year. To be honest, though, really no easy paths at this point in the tournament, so you gotta earn it. Another person requesting the Shearman-Raymond Linares match. I'm not exactly sure who they'll have on the stream next, but certainly a match I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't know much about Jason Shearman. Of course, we saw his wife Julia in the women's division. Had a great tournament. Edged out by Jeannie Seaver. Raymond, the local guy here. Great player, former U.S. amateur champion himself. And a pretty cool guy. I've gotten to know Raymond over the years. Sometimes joins us for a little commentary. You gonna ask Brad about the next match? Not that match? Do you know who the match is? Oh. So I'm told the next match is not slated to be Raymond and Jason Shearman. I'm sure that will come as a disappointment to some. But for some others, I'm sure they'll be happy to see whoever. Of course, we didn't find out exactly who it was. Well, Kara did, but she didn't remember, so it'll have to be a surprise. You'll have to come back and tune in. Again, if you've liked our Facebook page, you'll get a notification each time we go live. Just makes life a little bit easier. Well, Josh couldn't get the bank to go, but he played it well enough to where he didn't make things very convenient for Fred either, so see what Fred wants to do with this here. Well, For those of you that were requesting the Linares Shearman match, I was just told that will be the next match. So, barring any last-minute change, those that were hoping, your hopes have been answered. Something to look forward to, but meanwhile, we got a good one here on the stream table. Fred Babcock at the table here. Jacob Watson will have another chance to extend his lead here on this 9-ball. Yeah, so the Linares Shearman match will also be a matchup of undefeateds, as Watson pockets that 9 in the corner. Takes a 5-3 lead in this race to 7. Sorry, I must have said Jacob Watson. There is a Jacob Watson here, but this is Josh Watson. No relation, at least that I'm aware of. Scratch in the side pocket there for Josh Watson, which means Fred will have ball in hand. That 2 and the 9 are sitting up there. Taking a look at that now. All right, let's see if Fred can pocket this one and get back down. Watch out. Well, he got back down, but he got back down way too far, and that is going to create an excellent opportunity for Josh Watson here. Ball in hand. He's going to take this combination shot. Should be up 6-3 on the hill here just momentarily. Tough break there for Fred. Oh, spoke too soon. That 2-ball failed to clip the 9. And so here we are still. Little commentator curse, I know. I know. Sometimes I like to do that just to keep it interesting, though. It's amazing the power you have when you strap on a headphone and go live. So an uncharacteristic miss by Josh, at least based on what we've seen. A new life for Fred in this rack. Again, I'm told the next live stream will be Raymond Linares and Jason Shearman. It'll be a match at 1:30. Both players undefeated. Fred's got to be ecstatic to be at the table still here. He was moments away from preparing what could have been the final rack. And instead, here he is with a chance to pull within one. Looky there, nice shot by Fred. Leaves a tie up there though, right off that side pocket. The 6-7 and the 9 ball. Fred fails to pocket the 3. Had to get up over that 6 ball. So Josh will return to the table here, try to atone for his earlier mistake. Ooh, this information's correct. Sounds like Ernesto just dropped his first match by a pretty lopsided score, which is somewhat surprising. But again, this tournament, sometimes guys just get on a roll and you don't get much opportunity. Fred will take another shot at that 3 ball. Again, you can find all the brackets for the event at compusport.us. We've got that pinned right here in the comments section. You can click that link. Brett wants us to change it to an alt break format. I could see why that might appeal to some, but I think we're going to stick with what's gotten us this far. What's the old saying? Dance with the one that brought you. Kara's looking at me like she didn't know what the heck I'm talking about. Josh pockets that 3 in the corner. Can't cut that 4. But with the 2 ball in hands early in this rack and that 9 ball originally up in that top corner with the 2 not far from it, you thought this was going to be a quick game, but it's one of the longer games of the 9 ball set now. There it is. Oh. So he gets the 9 ball to drop. Unfortunately, the cue ball follows it in, and that 9 ball gets spotted up there. Josh will have ball in hand. I think the pool gods did not want to see an early 9 in this match, or in this game. Josh will have to do it the old-fashioned way. Gets that 6 ball off the rail. Good position on it. Draws it back for a shot on the 7. And finally that 9 ball drops. Josh Watson now on the hill. Leads 6-3 here over Fred Babcock. Chance to put this match away and to continue on the undefeated side of the bracket. Again, both these players currently undefeated, so they will both advance. The loser of this match will be right back in action in the 130 round against Robert Hall. And the winner will have a couple hours to regroup, relax, maybe grab a bite to eat. Back in action at 4:30, I believe. Again, that's all laid out for you nicely on CompuSport.us. Josh taking a good look here. Should have my buddy Jeremy Jones joining me here in a few minutes for our 130 round. I know you folks enjoy listening to Jeremy. Again, one of the smartest guys in the pool world in terms of the layout of the table. Lots to be learned by listening to him. Just gets that 3-7 combo. Just gets that 7 to drop. Again, you're catching the tail end of the 12 o'clock, the noon round here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Still several rounds to be played today. Our next round, the 1:30 round. Some of those matches should be kicking off here momentarily. Of course, we will finish this match out before we bring in another. I'm told that next match should be Raymond Linares, Jason Shearman. Fred trying to take it one ball at a time, one game at a time, claw back in this match a little bit. Pockets the 6 in the corner. Looks to be in good shape to run out here and draw one game closer. Pockets the 9 in the corner, adds one game to the tally. He now trails by just 2. Still 6-4. Advantage to Josh Watson, who needs only one game. Fred needs 3. However, he'll have the break here. Strokers are starting to buzz a little bit more than it had been early in the day. Pool players starting to come alive a little bit. A few more folks here to take in the matches, it looks like. Trying to keep everybody appropriately socially distanced here. Yeah, Chris, we know what you're saying with the autofocus on the camera. Not sure exactly why it's so sensitive right now. I don't know if that's because it just gets moved slightly, would be my guess. I think that light is hung on or that camera's hung on a light. Oh, in the ceiling. So, some slight movement maybe. Not exactly sure. We are aware of it. And We've been playing with it a little bit, but it seems pretty finicky for some reason.
They're done, so it's okay.
Fred pockets at 4 in the side there. Looking at the 5-9 combo now. Opts to just pocket the 5 and what's up, partner?
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Jeremy Jones just walked in.
Need some food.
Be joining us here in a few minutes for the 1:30 round. After he grabs a quick bite to eat. Fred pockets that 9 ball, picks up another game here. Things are getting interesting. Now 6-5. And again, he'll have that break, an opportunity to even things up in a hill-hill match. If you're just tuning in, this is coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association, taking place here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. A fantastic pool room here on the west side of the state of Florida, here in the Tampa area. Great place to play. Lots of different tournaments and leagues going on in here. Great food, all the things you could ask for in a pool room. Fred positions his cue ball. You know, it's a dry break, but I'm not sure Josh can get a good look at that one ball there. Kind of stuck behind the 2. You see the 6 ball there as well, so see how he wants to take on this. Josh will give the Shearman-Linares match, I'm told, is the next match. Obviously, we need to finish this one up first, though, before we can make that official. But that was the information I was given. Josh Watson wanting to finish this match off sooner than later. Things have gotten a little closer, I think, than he had hoped. Oh, fails to contact the 1, which means Fred will have ball in hand here. Pockets the 1 in the corner. Again, Fred being very deliberate at this point. Knows that any mistake here on out could be the end of this match. Pockets the 3 in the corner. Four in the opposite corner. Position on the 5 ball. Looking ahead at the position on the 6. Could be looking at our next hill. Fires that 6 in the side. Eight in the corner. And if he can finish off this 9 ball, we will be all even at 6. Pockets that 9 ball, and folks, we got another hill. 1 game take all match here in this race to 7. Fred will have the break once again, looking to control the table. Can see nice show of sportsmanship there. The 2 players with the fist bump. This has been quite a battle here. Great match. Josh Watson very much in control early. Fred battled back, and then Josh pulled ahead again. Fred battled back yet again, and here we are. All knotted up at 6. And Fred with the break. Looks like he's going to the opposite side of the table from his last break, which was dry. Eight ball falls. Well, we've gotten our money's worth here, so to speak. Question is, which one will move on the right side of the bracket, and which will hop over to the left side to face Robert Hall at 130. Robert patiently waiting for his opponent, watching this match. Oh, Fred just missed scratching there. But it's turned out relatively well as he's got that cue ball deep in the corner behind the 2 ball. You see the 7 ball there in front of the 1. So it looks like Josh has got his jump cue out. Yep. Good contact on the 1 ball. Looks like Fred can see it though. Fred pockets that 1. Pockets the 3 in the corner. All Josh Watson can do at this point is hope for another chance at the table. As Fred Babcock looks to complete what would be a Impressive comeback in this one. Still work to be done. Can't get the 6 to go. Now golden opportunity for Josh to finish what he started. He has led twice in this match. Fred been able to pull even both times. And we'll see if Josh can finish it off here. The winner here again will have a couple of rounds off before they play again.
I gotta sit.
Drops the 6 in the corner. The 7 in the corner. Oh. All right. The shot for the match. Pockets the 9. Josh Watson is moving on in the undefeated side of the bracket. What a great match. Fred Babcock will have to do it the hard way. He's going to move over to the one-loss side, and Fred will be back in action here in just a few minutes against Robert Hall. But congratulations to Josh Watson. He'll have a couple of rounds off before he plays again. It was an outstanding match. We appreciate you folks tuning in. Going to take a quick break here at Strokers, and then we will be right back with more action from this year's U.S. Amateur Championship.